Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to take a look at the bin that has pine shavings in it. So these are the extra fine pine shavings. It's a little bit different than the cardboard that I normally use, and my last update was about 16 days ago. So it's been a long time between these updates. Last time I added stuff for my juicer, and I actually have another container exactly the same right here. This is all stuff for my juicer. It's cucumber, celery, carrot, some lemon, and apple, and spinach. So that's the juice that I make kind of every day, and I've been trying to add it to my bins after I make it because that way I know there's no fruit flies in it, and it's pretty clean and it's ready to go and be consumed by the worms. As you can tell by some of the time-lapse videos that I've shown where it's gone through my juicer and I did the comparison, they move through it pretty quick. So it should be gone by now, all the food that we've added, but let's take a look and see if they've really gone through it all. Here we go. This is the bin right here. I've got my plastic tarp on top, which is pretty wet. And you can see there's a lot of moisture buildup on the cardboard. I think we're going to change this up though. I know I've been having this this tarp on top with the cardboard. I think we're going to switch it though. And I'm going to do what I'm doing on my other system that I just showed, and I'll link up above. But, you know, I switched out and I started using bags on one of my systems. And it seemed to work really, really well. And I think I'm going to do that on here as well to hold in the moisture a little bit better, maybe a little bit more evenly. But as you can tell, the stuff, it looks wet in the middle, but it's very dry on the sides. And I'd like to try to even it out a little bit. So after this, we're going to put some bags on here instead and try to moisten it up a little bit on the side. So first off, looks like there's some worms in here. Looks very healthy. This one looks like it probably is ready to maybe give a cocoon. So it looks a little bit swollen in the back there. Let's just dig down a little bit more. Oh, lots of moisture in the bottom here. And then look at this. Nice and healthy worms. There's a little bit of food left, but not a whole lot. But these worms look really healthy. These look really good, these worms. So nice and thick. I mean, you can really see them here. I mean, they're really looking good and healthy, so they are fine in this material. A couple of them look bigger than others. I mean, look at this one right here. Really large red worm. It's probably also, it looks like it's swollen here, so I don't know if it's going to have to give a cocoon soon. It's a little bit hard to see, I feel, cocoons in this material as it's the brownish color, or the light tan color, I should say, sort of matches what a cocoon would be. So, but look at this. The material looks great. Looks like they're starting to break it down a little bit. They've definitely worked their way into the food. And I'm not seeing really any food in here, so I'm just going to dig this up in the bottom here. Put that back where it was. A little bit of food left over in the bottom. Some worms working on it, but we're still going to load this up with more food this time as well because there's not much left in here and there are really a lot of worms on it here. So first thing we're going to do though is we're going to let's just dig down over here real quick. As you can tell, this is all just overly, let me not put a worm over here in this dry section. This is just overly dry. This entire section looks dry. It's a little bit wet at the bottom. The rest of it's all dry, and that's one thing that worries me in here, is the fact that it's not really evenly distributed, this moisture. So that's what we're going to try to do with these bags. We're going to try to evenly distribute this moisture a little bit better. So what we're going to do is I'm going to dig up this section right here. I'm going to put it down right over here. So as you can see, there's still worms in this section as well. But the idea is that we really want to get this going in all areas. So I'm going to take my container of food here. And this is a pretty large container of food, but that's okay. We're going to dump it in there and make sure I get everything out of here. Now there is a little bit of lemon in here, but very little, because it goes through the juicer, it squeezes out all the citrus and everything. But you can see that there's probably a little bit of lemon in there. That's as far as the rind, or what is that called? That's not the rind, because the rind I cut off before I juice it. I can't remember with the pith. That's what I was trying to think of, the pith. So I am going to add in a little bit of my crushed eggshell onto this because it's really important that they have this to make sure that they can digest this food. There we go. And now we're going to cover this back up, and I'm going to saturate this bin with some water. Now I know people complain that I'm not looking at the bottom half and I'm not checking underneath, but that's okay. Water runs downhill. So I moisten the top, it's going to run down into the bin, it's going to eventually saturate the entire bin, but the idea is that you water the top because it's going to run down. So let me grab my water here. I've got that ready to go. So I'm going to just rinse off my glove here a little bit. while I'm doing this. That way I can keep pumping this as well. Now what I want to do is, as I said, I want to make sure I kind of even this out a little bit. I don't want all of it in one section here, so I'm going to just try to even this out. I'm going to try to water these sections over here and water all the edges. And not just this center section. Now, I haven't really seen any fruit flies in the system. I have seen them on the cardboard that was on top, but I haven't seen anything like escape the system or try to fly out. So I'm really hopeful that this is sort of preventing. I don't know if it's the pine shavings or if it's just the fact that the system is a different material, you know, as far as it may be a little bit more textured and it's not broken down a lot, or it's just the fact that I've been really good at burying the food in here. So that's how we're going to do this. We've just watered it down. I don't want to add too much. There's still water in the bottom. And now this time, instead of using that tarp that we had, or we might still put the tarp on top, we're going to put these plastic bags. So that's our first one. Our second one here. And then our third one is going to cover this side right here. So just like that. Now, I was surprised, and I know that other people have done this exact same thing, that this works fine for airflow, it seems. I was really worried about it at first, but it seems to work really well. So now this is covered, it's fully encased with plastic, and this is ready to sit for another 2 weeks at least, probably, while they work through that food. So thank you for watching. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know, and let me know what you think about this versus the tarp and cardboard system I have. I'm very curious to know what your comments are and what you think about it. So thank you for watching.